Hello, everyone. This is Ed, your friend till the end, and welcome to the Suburban Saturn. It's been a minute since I've been here, but boy, is it good to be back with you all. Been super busy, World Cup mania, personal projects I've been kicking off and releasing, and I've got a performance coming up in about a week next Sunday at Love Long Beach Festival here in Long Beach, California at downtown. I'll link the event details and tickets below in case you guys want to come out. Let's get out of that plug and come back straight into what I'm here for, which is to catch up with you all and apologize for not being around as much. I've been trying to focus on micro vlogs and my personal projects, as I've mentioned. And yeah, I've just been enjoying the World Cup, which is why I'm here today with you all. The World Cup. Oh, yeah. So, most of you may not know this, but I am a USMNT fan and USWNT fan as well. I support the women's football team. They're much better than the guys by a long shot. It's not even fair. But yeah, I also support the men's national football team. And boy, oh boy, did they crash out in this World Cup. Admittedly, I was a little afraid of having any sort of confidence in them coming into the World Cup because they are hot and cold. They'll have some great performances, and then the next day they'll have some terrible performances. And we witnessed that at the World Cup. And this exact reason was why I actually was afraid to believe that the US could make it further than even the group stage. Now, we did great in the group stage. I think the USMNT and Mauricio Pochettino did a great job at shutting up a lot of the haters and making sure that the unconvinced people like me kind of had a little bit of hope and a little bit of faith. But again, these were all friendlies. Most competitive matches we had flopped, and we got grouped in the 2024 Copa America. It was embarrassing to get grouped by a CONCACAF team that in the World Cup did not win a single game, I think, and that was Panama. And so this is the kind of stuff that just makes you really question what is going on with the USMNT? What is going on with this federation? What is going on with these players? Because they've had nothing but our love, our support, our patience through all the drama, all the decisions, all the scrambling around. And what we got was one of the most humiliating crash outs in World Cup history that I think I've witnessed in the US. I think in general, ever, because a team like the US before, with worse players, has done a much better job at getting further in a World Cup than this golden generation, this so called golden generation. And, I've come to realize that they are not a golden generation. Yes, individually, professionally, these players they have a lot of talent. They are great references for their team, and they perform pretty well. But when it comes to wearing the national US jersey, it's like they forget how to play football, man. It's like all of a sudden it's a waste of their time. It's like they are doing a favor to the supporters who have basically are single-handedly responsible for a lot of the nurturing and development of these guys' professional careers abroad, right? Having the home support back here, the consumer base to buy Pulisic jerseys at AC Milan, even though he's barely playing now. It's great. I mean, it's great for their professional development and their professional club careers. And yeah, they'll still get called up to the USMNT and probably get paid to perform like shit, just like they did, like absolute cowards. Like people who have never seen a soccer ball in their lives yet are getting paid millions of dollars to be there. That's bullshit. This is what we need as a culture, as a fan base, to stop supporting these dudes and demand better. Now, this isn't on Mauricio Pochettino. I honestly think he's doing a great job at instilling that Latin American flavor of soccer culture here in the United States. And I think he has done what he could with the base that he has. But much like Mexico, who has actually a limited talent base, which is why they couldn't beat England, even though having everything in their favor, more players, home field advantage, the people, and then just the pride of going out there and not going out with a whimper. They had a lot of momentum, but they did not have the quality of players to seal the game. And this is where the Jude Bellinghams or the Harry Kanes could put away that one opportunity that they get in the entire game. They have the quality to punish you for that. Mexico, with the exception of Raul Jimenez, which today it wasn't that. I mean, today on the Mexico game, he was unlucky not to score, but really that England goalkeeper did a great job. I mean, he put in the performance of his life. I had never even heard of this guy before in my life. Granted, I don't keep up with the Prem really as much anymore, but yeah, he did a phenomenal job at making sure that Raul Jimenez did not get the back of the net, and then Jude Bellingham too. Man, like that guy put the team on his back. But the question I have for the Mexican soccer base and fans is, where is your Jude Bellingham? Where is your Harry Kane? If your top player is playing in a team that's mid-table on the Premier League, yeah, this explains the gap between the two teams and ultimately why Mexico crashed out against England. Fine. I felt like Mexico had the opportunity to go through. And as a U.S. soccer fan, I'm not a big fan of Mexico because they talk a lot and they swear up and down that their team is the best, despite the very real limitations that the Mexican national team actually has. That being that they don't actually have many players anymore that are quality. Now, I'm hoping they do change that because for the sake of the CONCACAF region, we need a strong Mexico and we need a strong Canada. And I was rooting for both these teams outside of the US, very, very much so, against every team that they played against. So seeing Mexico crash out to England, maybe when I was younger, I would have celebrated that. But today, in this day and age, it actually hurt. I was upset. I want to see Mexico do better. Now, at least Mexico, again, has the excuse of no Jude Bellingham, no Harry Kane. But the US has a Pulisic, which now really doesn't mean much, to be honest, because in the times when, again, competitively for the US, it counts, these guys flop. They've only ever shown up against Mexico. Pulisic is a streaky player. That's all you'll ever get out of him. He never lived up to the promise. Yes, he might have the most promising career in the history of US soccer history, I guess, ever. But that's only at the club level. At the international level, all he's ever done is beat Mexico. Congrats on beating the worst Mexico generation ever. That's pathetic, man. So yeah, I just don't buy the hype anymore. I'm glad I never got one of his freaking jerseys. There are other players that showed promise in general in this World Cup that I'm very excited for. Malik Tillman being one of them, Wesson McKennie. Those two in particular really get me excited for, at least our midfield, which has usually been one of our weaker areas, I guess. But everywhere else, man, oh boy. We've no striker with the exception of Balogun, and he did what he could in this game, honestly. It's hard to be the only one playing. That's just the truth. He basically had his teammates work against him. Matt Freese worked against Balogun. Serginho Dest worked against Balogun. So basically, when your teammates are working against you, it's really hard to win. So yeah, I mean, it was just a bad day for the USMNT. So I'm trying to have some grace for that. But I think this is exactly what we needed in order to just realize who we can't rely on. Pulisic is not it. He's great. I hope he has the best career in Milan, in fucking the Netherlands, wherever he goes, man. I wish him the best. Let's look outside now, though. For the U.S. soccer team, we need much better than that, man. We can't just have a dude with a promising career everywhere else but our actual, like, the games that count for us, the fan base. This dude fucking sucks, man. Get him out. Get him out. He's just injured half the time. He's a little passenger princess. When he gets on the field, he only seems to do damage when the fucking games are friendlies, or it's against Mexico. Other than that, he's injured. He's lazy. He doesn't have the time of the day to compete. So get him the fuck out, man. Honestly, dude. And well, I mean, don't, but also don't make him your reference anymore, dude. Like, let's literally just try to look elsewhere. Let's make it a mission if you're the federation soccer to like of soccer, to get better players, to scout them, to develop them, to give them opportunities. Pulisic was an experiment and it just didn't quite work out. Again, I do wish the guy the best of his career for his sake more than anything. But in terms of U.S. soccer, I think this is it. I mean, we've gone a whole 8 years with him being one of the references, and he just crashes out or disappears on games, and he can't sustain the level of play, unlike an Mbappe, for example. Even a Messi, who at 39 years old is basically playing 120 minutes and scoring, even he can sustain the intensity of the 90 minutes. A Pulisic, dude, will give you 2 good games. The third one, if he doesn't crash out, he'll come out injured. That's just not pro level, man. That's not pro level. I wouldn't pay to have that guy on my team. Why would I? I can get a beast like Mbappe or like Haaland or like Messi. Obviously, these guys are once in a lifetime talent. But one thing that they do have is how consistent they are in their performance. They last you the 90 minutes. They rarely get injured and they score and put him away. Pulisic, guys, is not that. He is not world class like that. He has streaky moments that make him look promising, but at 27, 28, you should have already be actualizing that potential and performing like that consistently. Consistently. All right, not just the last 20 minutes of the game you get put on, or the first 2 games of the beginning of the match when you've had like 3 months to rest up, and then your performance begins to dip. I mean, seriously, dude, it's like this guy's not it. And I love him. A lot of great memories. It's been fun to watch his development. But, the truth is, the verdict is, dude's peaked. It's going down. It's not really going to happen anymore for him. At least, definitely, let's not rely on him for the national level. He's captain Milan now, or captain, I don't know, captain, yeah, streaky, but he's no longer a Captain America. We have to give that title to someone else. Maybe a Weston McKennie, maybe a Malik Tillman, I don't know, maybe even a Balogun at this point, even though he's from England. But anyways, I would still give it to anyone else but Pulisic at this point because, he's just not our guy. He's not our guy. Maybe he just does better whenever no one expects anything out of him. Maybe, yeah, maybe that's what we should do. Just expect nothing out of Pulisic. But then why should he be there playing on the pitch? You see what I mean? So either expectations or bust. And the way it's kind of looking, it's bust. We're past that. Let's move on from the Pulisic era for our sake. Anyways, so rant about the USMNT over. Basically just wanted to get my grievance session out. We crashed out. We did poorly. We've been doing poorly. This isn't on the manager. Some of the players just had a terrible day, but some of the players that we've put our faith and hope on over the almost the past decade, it's just time to move on from, guys. Close out this chapter, try to find a new set of players, and yeah, let's see what happens from there. But it's hard. It's hard. That was a hard blow because we wanted to believe. We were told to believe. We were told to have faith. And this is how we get rewarded for believing in our boys. The worst performance, probably their worst crash out in World Cup history. Pathetic, in a word. So, your reward, U.S. soccer fans, for believing in this team when they told you better believe, is a slap. It's a kick in the face. There's no other way to put it. So let's focus on players who actually, want to compete for the U.S. national team and not just want to pad their stats on the personal, professional level. It's great if you want to do that, but let's focus on people who want to play for us and who want to make an impact and who don't want to humiliate us the way this generation has. It should be a wake-up call. Just wake up. Anyways. Yeah, I'm excited for the rest of the World Cup. My quick predictions for this one is going to be that England makes it. No, Norway makes it through either 2-1 or in penalties. But I honestly think they'll be able to resolve the game within the allotted time. So yeah, that's my prediction: 2-1 England. 2-1 Norway against England. And then my other prediction is France takes it today against Morocco. This one, the score could be as tight as a 1-0 or a 2-1, or it can be as open as a 0-3, 0-4, because Morocco is missing some of their key players, like Saibari, who is like really one of the few that can do damage on the attack against a French team. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. France has got nothing but firepower. If their past performances have been anything to go by, it's gonna take quite the amount of skill and luck to beat them, because you'll have to be lucky in the way that they are unlucky and don't make 10 of the chances they create. Basically, they'll have to miss 10 out of the 10 chances they create against you in order for you to survive this. There are only very few teams that might be able to shut down their football for streaks, like Spain. But I do not think Morocco is one of them. And I saw the way they performed against Canada. Canada did not have the quality to punish Morocco for some of the mistakes, but Canada was able to generate a lot of dangerous plays. Now, with a player like Mbappe, players like Olise, Barcola, they have the quality to punish you. They have the quality to do one-on-one magic, create something out of nothing. That's the level of player that they have. I don't think Morocco has anyone really on their side besides Saibari, who's now no longer really in the picture, who can punish France like that. So, yeah, they don't have a Yamal, that can, again, do that level of quality and magic on a one-on-one moment, create something out of nothing. So, yeah, I don't see Morocco getting past this one, guys. I'm sorry. But Spain and France, that's probably the winner of those two, to me, might be the winner of the World Cup, unless, Messi, the GOAT himself. At this point, if you're still, coping with Argentina being like a corrupt country that FIFA, is paying to keep them going. I mean, you just look, that foul, sure, but against Egypt, that foul called after Egypt had scored, that was shady and that was really stupid. And those are the moments that can ruin the game. But Egypt scored again after that. Okay? They had the opportunity to literally close the game. They let Argentina come back. That's on them. And they let them come back within 15 minutes. That's on them. That's on them completely. FIFA didn't make that happen. Yes, they might have helped Argentina by taking away a goal by the VAR in the most absurd manner. But to go up another goal and then literally collapse in the last 15 minutes, that's all on Egypt, dudes. So cope with it how you want. You can pretend it was FIFA that gave Argentina the pass. But if you do believe that, then you're just not going to wake up to the fact that Argentina just has a different work ethic than most teams. And if you fall asleep to that, you'll be surprised if they end up winning the World Cup. So this is me calling it now. I mean, basically, it's between Argentina and whoever wins from France and Spain. That's going to be the winner of the World Cup. And personally, I would love myself a redux of Argentina and France. Like, that would be the coolest thing in the world, to see both these teams go against in the final and get either Argentina getting their second straight World Cup. That would be very historical for them. And it would just be a very historic moment. And honestly, I think it would cement Messi's legacy as the greatest footballer of all time. There is no debating it now, bros out there. Cristiano never won one. Messi won his Copa America. Messi won his World Cup. If he wins two like in a row, on top of everything he did when he was in Barcelona, winning the treble, the Champions League, the domestic league, and then the La Liga, all of this, the World Cup of clubs, he's won everything, guys. He's won everything. The only thing he hasn't won are like the continental trophies, and that's because he can't play for a European team. But he would have won the Euros too had he played them. And you can cope with that however you want. But at the age of 39, still leading the golden boot race, and making history, and being one of the oldest players to play the game and stay competitive, he has the chance at winning another World Cup in a row. Hats off. No matter how much you hate Argentina, there's no denying that level of talent. And you can call that corruption if it helps you sleep at night and cope. It's fine, man. he'll be lavishing in his trophies, his millions, wiping his tears away with that. So good for Messi, man, but he needs to win that first, And then on the other hand, you have the dictator himself, Mbappe. I love this kid, man. He excites me every time I see him play for the French national team. I just love it. He's explosive. He's dynamic. He's fun to watch. Him and Griezmann, have been like one of the best things to ever happen to the French national team. And it's evident by the amount of trophies too that they started to win again, once, these two players basically were there. They both played different roles, but Griezmann was really instrumental in bringing France and elevating their level, helping them get to a final in 2016 against Portugal, which Cristiano Ronaldo won. But then, going on in 2018 to win the World Cup and being very instrumental himself. I think he scored 2 goals, a penalty, and then like a free kick that ended up sliding in because Croatia failed to clear the ball. It kind of sneaked its way to the back. So incredibly instrumental fella. He didn't have the greatest 2022 World Cup at the final game. He had been great up until the final game, and then sometimes it's not your day. So anyways, France, a lot they have score to settle against Argentina. So France, Argentina would be great. But, if Spain gets up there too, I wouldn't be mad. I just don't see it. Spain, I thought going into the World Cup would be the best one because of how they performed in the Euros. But after seeing this World Cup and how the teams have been competing against each other, I don't see it. I don't see Spain beating France. But, European teams have like a weird way of canceling each other out. Whereas like a Germany might destroy an England, and England might beat a Spain. Actually, I don't think England really ever beat Spain, but you know what I mean? Like sometimes like France could be very lethal against most teams, right? But when they play like a Portugal for some reason, that games can get really complicated for the French, right? Or the same with the Spanish. They can be very lethal against all teams, but when they play a Portugal, for example, all of a sudden it's a very even match. So that's kind of the thing I anticipate for these upcoming matches, is that I do expect Spain and France to be tight the way that Portugal and Spain was. And I expect the score to be by a very thin margin. But that's assuming they get that far. Spain still has to beat Belgium, and France still has to beat Morocco. So I guess that's where we go. But those are my predictions in case anyone gives a fuck. But anyways, that's it. Just wanted to talk World Cup mania. More videos to come. I will be speaking at the AWS conference next month on August 13, talking about how to create privacy-first reflective apps. It's a community builder event thrown by AWS by some amazing people. So definitely, if you're in the area, if you live in Silicon Beach here in the west side of Los Angeles, in Long Beach, and even the greater LA areas, come to the event, meet your local AWS developers, professionals, network, come say hi to me, come learn about some weirder tech we can create for our communities and our society, really. So yeah, that'll be next month. I'll add all the details on the link below. That being said, much love to you guys. Excited for the future.